Am I looking at the camera?
You're looking. Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Really doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. We are in a different library today. Very weird scenery. I thought there was going to be some open rooms, but it's a Tuesday, so people will be doing like Bible studies in here. People be doing homework. I'll be forgetting that I'm not a kid anymore, so like libraries be busy. I'm very excited about today. I have an intro card. I'm trying to do intro cards. I've seen like a lot of podcast people have intro cards about like who they're interviewing. So he's the first person I'm doing an intro card for. So I'm not gonna say what his name is. He'll say it after I get done with the intro card. Background about how I know this guy. I'm not sure where we actually met. I have no idea. Let's just say we met somewhere and it was dope. But I'll say one of the greatest things for me. Okay, where? You gotta.
Oh, sorry. I met you at Luther's. It wasn't Luther's show specific. It was one of, what's her name? Puka Scotty, whatever.
Past the Ox?
Past the Ox.
God.
It was at the first Past the Ox.
I think it was the first. It was the first one at Brightside, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I met everybody. That's so funny.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
I was literally only in Ohio for probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, because then you went to Florida.
I had just moved here.
Oh, you just
from
moved. Oh,
South Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Dang, I don't know why I keep thinking about Florida.
Everybody thinks South Carolina's in Florida.
That's so funny. Okay, so but yeah, we met at a music event. I think, you know what's funny? Shout out to Puka, but this is no disrespect to you, Puka, at all. But I think we met in the audience because I was making fun of people who are on stage. That's what I remember.
I think we might have
yes, yeah. Like I said, there's just no disrespect to the thing that you were doing, but I'm a hater. I'm a hater. No, forget it. I'm a hater. We can be honest. I'm a hater. So people who were on stage, I just wasn't messing with it, but I was saying stuff out loud. Saying the truth. See, and this is what okay. But that's how we met. But one specific memory that I have with him, which is like the first time not the first time, but like meeting someone newer. When it comes to me, I always like to go out of my way for people. So like if you're coming in my environment, I'm trying to pay for things. I'm trying to make sure you're good. I'm trying to blah blah blah. He had a music shoot, and I was like, hey man, like I would love to shadow you, like to kind of see like your process of setting stuff up, bringing stuff down, all this other stuff. And he was like, hey, yeah, I can come. At the time, I didn't have a car. He was like, hey, I can come pick you up after we get done. I'll order some pizza. That was one of the greatest memories I have with this guy here, because I felt like I was being taken care of, and because I have a heart for taking care of people, for someone to do that for me, it just went above and beyond in my heart. So I appreciate that. So I have an intro card, people. I don't know if you can read that. It says intro card. The intro card says this. So today we have the founder, right, of Omni Visuals, which is a professional media company. He has curated and edited over 100+ music videos. That was also formerly known as Shot by Nico. He's a light programmer. He does sound design, VFX, commercials, and any type of installation media-wise or whatever you want to do, he can do it. So today we have
Antonio Jones.
Antonio. I struggled a little bit, people. We're going to get better with those. How are you doing today, man?
I never been on a podcast, but I never had an intro card either. That was fire.
No, yeah. So yeah, the first intro card, people. First intro card. So for people who don't know who you are, who are you? What do you do besides, you know?
I mean, I think you wrapped it up into that intro card. But Antonio Jones, I'm a creative director, photographer, videographer, filmmaker, a little bit of everything in the media world, installations, live productions, live sound. Also heavily involved with the church and ministry as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. Dope person, dope personality. Super excited about today. And it's so funny because like he asked me, he was like, hey, like, you know, when we're doing this, what type of conversation are you having? I'm like, bruh, you can't know this. The whole point of you being here is for me to know you more from when I knew you. Because, you know, obviously from when I knew you, we were in a different headspace. We were in a different season of our lives. So like again, people, the biggest thing with us being younger adults, if that's my audience or if you're older, is just to understand conversation as a whole. Like, the whole point of communication is to understand. You don't have to agree, but you can definitely understand. So moving forward, I always try to tell people, especially beforehand, like I told him, that the point of us doing this on camera is to also do this outside of our life as well. So after this, we can be better friends. We can have dinner, all types of stuff, just to really motivate us to keep pushing forward. So today,
Real quick.
Yeah.
But Friendsgiving tomorrow. Pull up. You
Friendsgiving.
know I do our Bible study on Wednesday. I didn't know you back. Like,
listen to me,
local.
guys. You guys might hate me when I say this, because this is going to come out on a Monday. He invited me to Friendsgiving, but I have a special premiere for a movie that a person of mine got tickets for that I have to pull up for because it was already set in stone.
It's all good.
So don't hate me,
all good.
okay? Don't hate me. He asked me very late. No, I'm joking. But we have 4 questions today. The interviewee never knows what the questions are. Mr. Antonio, are you ready?
I am as ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay, question number 1. It's kind of a long one,
Okay.
but just hear the question.
Mm-hmm.
So you used to promote and record a lot of music videos, and then sadly you had a tragic car accident that kind of led to you not wanting to promote that anymore. Your focus has changed. Your focus changed to be more of a servant of God. Do you think that the change was only because of near death, or do you feel that your faith has always been there and you just discovered because of, the season that you were in that you're going to change into? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, great question actually. For me, to answer your question simply, I've always had faith. I grew up in the church. Honestly, I'm one of those stories of just the kid that grew up who knew better and just didn't do what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And should I still be hard-headed sometimes? But I think for me, the car accident was a wake-up call. It was because when I was shot by Nico, when I was doing all the music videos, doing everything that I was doing at the time, like, I can pride. I'm sorry.
It's just right here at the top.
I got you.
Yep.
Like, not proud to say, but at the time, like, I was so prideful, and like everything that I had at that time, I built, I made, I achieved, I reached, and I was making great money, nearly 6 figures off of shooting music videos and having fun, recording music. I had, decent car, I had everything that I wanted, that I thought the world could offer me. And I thought I was on my way, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think I was where I wanted to be, but I was on my way. I was on the path, and, had some good opportunities. Had just recently had shot at the time for Glorilla when she came down for her concert. Like, so for me, I was like, oh man, I'm on the way to the next. But when I got in a car accident, it was more so like, it was like 6 months after the car accident, where I was like really just in prayer, just seeking the Lord, because that was the lowest point I've ever been in my life. Keep it a buck. I was jacked up, really. And it got to a point where it was like, in my conversations with the Lord, it was like he was saying, like, all right, you gonna keep doing it your way, or you gonna do it my way? And that, it was more so like I had already in my head done it my way. I've tasted a little bit of everything my way, and it led me here, And if I could lead myself here, I don't want to lead or be in control anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where that led me to a rock bottom part, to be like, all right, am I going to get back up and do this again my way, or I'm going to just give it to the Lord? So
I think the most interesting thing about your story specifically is the change. I'll say the change. And changing your character, and like not saying that, because we've had conversations before all that stuff happened, all that stuff transpired, but the change after, like, you could see how how soft your shell became like as a person. So when I look at the type of person you were before, and maybe you can see it as well, like your glow wasn't the same as it is now. Like you look like a person who has really accepted who God asked you to be. So something that I went through recently was, me tearing my MCL, and then me cutting my hair. And like as soon as I cut my hair, I was like, wow, like I feel like a new person. I feel like I have purpose. I feel like I have all these other things. So I really resonated with where you were going into. And then the reason why I asked the question about, do you think it's more of a, oh my gosh, I almost died, let me have faith now? Because, talking about you being at rock bottom, I understand why people would resort to faith, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't believe anything, let me go here. But for people who have grown up in the church, I think that it's always within us. We just need to figure out a better way to get there. And that's through God, but also like learning outside of what you know. Go ahead.
I would say for a lot of us that grew up in church, there's a few different reasons. But I say from my personal experience, it wasn't that I needed to find a new way.
Right.
It was I need to stop trying to do it my way.
Yes.
Like realistic, because growing up in the church for me personally, like the do's and the don'ts. You know the rules.
Correct.
You know what you can do.
Mike.
I'm sorry. You know what you can and can't do. Like your parameters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as a kid growing up, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but I want to taste what's on the other side of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think we chase after that until we realize that God's enough. There's a song that says that if the highest place that I ever reach is at your feet, then I've done it all. And that's rang true in my life over the last 3-4 years. Is like, to the world or just the people around me, they might not see me as the person I used to be. You know what I'm saying? But to me, and if you get to know me now, I'm way better of a person. I'm way better in life. I'm happy. I'm very content in life now. Of course I want more things, but it's because I realize that God is literally enough. He is the reward.
So when you're prior to your accident, when you're making 6 figures, which is a lot for a person who is in a city that we were in, outside of, and also inside, when he was in South Carolina, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you were how old at the time?
20.
So 20, making 6 figures off of videography, photography, media production, that's a lot. So when you're on the, should I say on the rise? Yeah, we can say on the rise. When you're on the rise of that, what were the things that kept you motivated outside of me saying, I deserve, I want that, I like where was your mindset going up there?
That's a great question. I had a chip on my shoulder.
Can I ask you a question about that real quick? Mm-hmm. Do you think that when people say they have chips on their shoulder, is it because of where they came from or because of what they believe what competition is around them?
I think it can be a multitude of things.
Okay.
I think most of my chips came from hurt and trauma.
Got you. Okay.
And wanting to prove people wrong, prove my parents wrong. Shortly after I started my business officially, like it was 2019. Started it in like September, October of 2019, and I'm in college, living in the dorms at this time, and COVID hits. So we got kicked out of dorms, had to move back home. I graduated high school when I was 16, so in 2019 I'm 19, I'm 3 years into college. I ain't been home since, so it's the first time moving back home. And it's COVID, so we stuck in the house, tension, and not to get into the weeds of it, but my stepfather pulled a gun on me, kicked me out the house. And that was like the last straw for me. Was like, man, I'm about to leave this house for real, and I'm about to go and prove everybody wrong that ever did me dirty, ever did me wrong, ever said I wasn't going to be. And like, I've always, as a kid growing up, like wanted and had goals. Like I think that chip was like a healthy chip growing up. Like, yeah, I want to be you know what I'm saying? I think I can attain those things. Like, I have dreams, I have goals, and that's like I want to chase after them. But then it got to a point where it's like everybody was doubting me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you might be living in a box when you're 28. I remember a friend of mine told me that in high school. And so, like, all this stuff started to come. And when that happened, COVID year with my stepfather, it was just like, all right, I'm going all in. And so in those days, bro, I probably barely slept, like, literally. And shoot, I'm on there. I was, yeah. So
yes.
that's what kept me going was, shoot, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
I gotta get it.
I have a little bit more grace for you. Not saying that I never did, but like because I understand your story more. One thing I can say I really appreciate about your rise to that, the healthy takeaway is you're consistent. And even though you may not have been consistent, I don't want to say for the right reasons, but consistent to where the right reasons are right now, you were consistent enough to say, you know what, I can do this. You know what, I am able to. I do have the ability. And that's something that I wish I had when I was a little bit younger, because I felt that because I'm such a people person, the support has to be enough around me. So if I have a mom, if I have a dad, if I have a sister, if I have friends, that push should be a lot more for, hey, do what you want to do, or if you have a gift, use it, X, Y, and Z. But you're technically by yourself mentally. You're saying, well, I have to do it this way because of X, Y, and Z. So I have much more of an understanding of where that came from. So now you're at the height. You didn't hit 6 figures. You didn't hit all these music videos. The Glorilla thing, and then bam, the tragic accident.
Mm-hmm.
Your first thought after was what? After that first month?
First month?
Yep.
Man. It took me months to get out of the woe is me. Why me? Why me, God? Why me? Why me? I'm just angry. Those are really the only thoughts that I can remember during. I was so angry, man. I was so angry. Because, mind you, not many people know this, but the month that I got in a car accident, I was supposed to move to Florida.
I remember that.
My best friend.
I remember you telling me
We
that.
were supposed to get right back to everything that we was doing. We was about to keep going and take it to a whole nother level, really. New city, new market. Like, so I'm mad. I'm so mad.
And then on top of that, you had to learn to walk, pretty much, right?
Basically, I mean, not relearn how to walk, but I had broke my foot, and they didn't tell me it was broke for like 4 months. So I'm walking on a sprained ankle, on crutches and whatever. They kept telling me it's a sprain. Oh, it's a sprain. It's a sprain. Finally went and got like a third what you call it?
Yeah, you're right.
Doctor. I don't know.
Yep.
Come look at it.
Yep.
And finally said it was broken or whatever. So that restarted the whole process. So it was like an 8-month process before I could walk again. I had to relearn how to walk.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Keep in mind, people, I remember because he had asked me to come help him once. This dude was still shooting videos on crutches. So like when you guys see like the behind the scenes of like people going like following the artist, he's doing that hopping on one foot. That was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life. I was like, wow, this dude has to go get it.
And that was just my mindset, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I literally,
regardless,
mentally, I was like, I literally shot that music video 7 days after my car accident.
These bills are gonna pay themselves,
man.
No, I definitely get that. So do I want to go into the second question, or do I want to finish that one? That's all question number 1. Yeah. I'll say. So after the rehab, after all those months, after, you kind of coming down off of the why got me, then your focus changes on how can I be for you. Mm-hmm. What was that process like for yourself?
Well, this is still in recovery
for sure
time, and really in that time where I'm praying like to the Lord, like he was like basically like, you're gonna keep doing it your way, or you're gonna do it my way. And when I said your way, I want your way, he's like, oh, you do? Okay.
Watch this. Right.
All right, well, get rid of your way then, basically.
And which just means your pride's in there too.
Yeah, I mean, that for me was going on social media and changing my handle, so nobody could even find Shot by Nico if they look for it. You know what I'm saying? That was deleting 400 plus videos that were on my page. That was just completely disowning the person and the company and everything that I had built completely. And I mean, I literally had nothing. Like, I didn't have another job coming in. I ain't have no way to promote for more jobs to come in because
your portfolio's gone.
My portfolio's gone.
Yep.
And man, God is so good and he's so like surreal. I literally was just like, all right, Lord, I know you blessed me to have a gift with this camera. I know it. Side note, kind of, I realized kind of in this time, I started to realize in this time that my identity was wrapped up into a camera. Like, I couldn't leave the house without my camera. I couldn't, and I still try not to leave my house without my camera, but it's not like a identity thing now. Like, you know, I used to be so wrapped up in like, oh, I am Shot by Nico. I am a cameraman. I am this. And so I'm like, Lord, I'm a cameraman. That's what you made me to be, right? And all right, I'll give it to you. And just to finish that squirrel, like, over the last 3 years, he's shown me that I'm so much more than a camera, and that the camera is just a tool to do what he has on this earth for me to do.
It's an extension of you, but it's not who you are. Yeah.
So, but I said, Lord, all right, I'm gonna give it to you, and I just started going to the church that I was going to, and just taking pictures, whatever I could do, marketing, social media, helping them with their equipment, just literally anything that I could do for like 2 months. I'm just showing up, I'm showing out, anything I can do. And the pastor's like, man, I really want to pay you. I can't, you know, small church, all the things. And so this is literally like 2 months after I had that prayer with the Lord, like, I need you to make a way, essentially, because I can't do it now. And literally the pastor at that church that I was going to calls me on a Saturday. He's like, hey, man, I know we've been having talks about, you know, potentially hiring you and, you know, down the road, but the church that I came from, it's a lot bigger church than where we're at. They're looking for a media director. Are you interested? I'm like, well, I need a job, you know, I guess. I go check out that church on Sunday. By Monday, I'm hired, full-time salary position. Didn't even interview, essentially. Like, just walked in there. And that was like, the Lord for me was like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? It was like the most surreal for me experience that I've had with the Lord, for him to just show up and show out in that way. And in that, chasing and just kind of submitting to the Lord in that, he's kind of shown me now really where my purpose is and where I'm headed to go. And even what was in me all these years, even when I was doing Shot by Nico and the things that I was chasing after, he's sanctified and kind of just even shown me that was something that he placed in me. I just perverted, you know what I'm saying, in different ways. So he's just shown me that one, media is just a tool for my purpose. And what is my purpose? Essentially is to share the gospel, you know, to be an extension of Christ, to be an ambassador of heaven on earth. And that's just a way for me to do it. And that's kind of, just answering your question, kind of just the mindset shift going into what's now. And, you know, business and filmmaking, creative, all the things is, you know, where I'm at now, like, you know, doing more of the corporate side, more storytelling, a lot of church work, a lot of ministry work. But it's just a tool now.
Yeah, and I think just to end with that, with the first question, I think one of the biggest takeaways from that, guys, is understanding how to be with God, right? So when you are being with him, like, what really matters outside of that? What does your peace look like? What does your person look like? What does your body feel like when you really are one with God? Like, and that's something that I can say that I struggle with, because I'm like, I changed this channel to just be NOIZ Talks, so that way people have an audience inside this, and then when I have other stuff, I have an audience inside that, outside of that. But if you guys were to like low-key watch all of my shorts from like when I first started posting shorts, or if I had my videos, you would see that I'm like trying to figure it out. Like, God, I really want to go this route, But this is the route that really changes people's mindsets or people's hearts. And I always bring this up about like how people who were watching past videos would be like, hey, I took this conversation that I had or that you had with your friend, and I started asking my friends this stuff. And I'm like, is this what you really want me to do, God? Like, and then I'm not gonna say her name, but I had a friend on, and his mother was like, hey, like, I have never known anything about my son until your interview. So you showed me how to learn my son more through your interview with my son. I was like, whoa. So I understand that there is a purpose and a work that God wants you to do. You just had to receive that and be one with him. So that's all question number one. Okay. Going to question number two. What is something you wish more people in this world understood? And that can be anything. And I know that's a broad question because of a lot of the issues that are going on, but if something was on your heart today and you had to give a press in front of millions of people and you wish they understood this, what would you say?
Oh, man. One thing that I want the world to understand is that there's a father, there is a friend who wants to love you and be in relationship with you, who wants to know you and be known by you, who wants to love you and be loved by you, and that he wants relationship, and that he is God's Jesus, and it's not religion, it's not a church, it's not rules and regulations, it's a father who created you, who created this world, and created or knows how to succeed in this life, and he gave us the blueprint to do that, and that's the Bible. I think that was the biggest thing that changed my relationship with the Lord, was realizing that it's not rules and regulations, it's not don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. This is how you succeed in life.
I think people's biggest thing with that is when they have faith, when they have their own faith, right? Mm-hmm. It's because I can see, I can touch, I can feel, I can. But when it comes to God, they're like, well, I can't see him, I can't touch him, I can't feel him. Mm-hmm. But that's literally kind of what faith is. So when you are about to go drive your car, you're having faith that your car's going to turn on and that it's going to go and that it's going to. But, you know, when people don't think that it's tangible, they're like, well, God's not here because I can't have a conversation with him.
You can, though.
I understand
totally
that. Yeah.
And that's what I think that's what I want people to realize, is that it's actually a relationship.
Correct.
There's like actually a father, a friend who is out there that's not just out there, but he sits on my bed every night with me and has conversation with. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
What's up, bro? How you doing today?
No, I'm serious,
oh yeah,
bro. I have conversations with God just like I would have with you. Like he's a friend, and when I have nobody, he's there. When I have everything, he's there. You know what I'm saying? Everything in between, he's there. Like, and it's real. It's not corny. Like, it's not like, it might sound corny, it might sound cliche, but there's something out there, somebody out there who wants to love you and show you a love that you've never been able to experience on this earth.
And why I think it's so hard for people to understand that is because of what they.
Well, I mean, God is love, and if you haven't experienced him, you haven't experienced love. So what type of love are you experiencing to think that there's a better love out there? You know what I'm saying? At least from my experiences in my life, nobody's loved me like the Father's loved me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has actually been true and faithful and shown up in every single way. Not my mom, not my dad, not my stepdad, not my brother, not my sister, not my friends, not my exes, not my, like.
This man went down a list.
I'm just saying.
No, for real, yeah.
Real talk. I mean, my best friend to this day can't love me the way that the Lord does, you know? So I think it's something that we don't experience on a day-to-day, so why would we?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the hesitation for a lot of people.
And I understand that a lot more. But then it's like, something that people also have is, well, the Bible says don't do this. The Bible says don't do that. They feel like there's restrictions, but like
Mhm.
when you really go down to what we're asked to being told, what makes you want to do these things? If you know the right from the wrong or the choice, what makes you want to gravitate towards, well, if I can't have access to this, this is why I can't believe in God.
I think to that point, I think to that point that most people say like, okay, let's go like sex, right?
Yeah,
Sex
yeah.
prior to marriage.
Yep.
Is bad, right? People, I think, and they're just natural mind. Well, why is it bad? What makes it bad? You know what I'm saying? Like what it really does, if you really think about it, it's and most people give them just the answer of because God said it is. Well, shoot, then I don't want nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, sex is good. God created sex. You know what I'm saying? He created it for us to enjoy. But there is a way in which we are to enjoy it that we would receive the most abundance from, right? And outside of doing it the way the Lord tells us to, me personally grew up without my father in the household. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that grew up don't even know their kids. I mean, know their father or their mother. I got friends right now that are dealing with not even being able to see their kid because of baby mama drama, this, that, and the third. And it's like there's all this brokenness that we experience in life, and then we blame God, but then we go and do things our own way. And it's like, it's not how that works. Like and obviously, there's still room for error and a Christian marriage and a Christian all this. There's room for the enemy to come in and sleep in and mess things up. Yes. But if we're just out here willy-nilly and I got a kid, you know what I'm saying, messing with a girl, like that's heartbreak, that's trauma, that's a lot that's about to go into not only me, not only her, but now this child that we're about to raise. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people realize there's principles in the world. Like there's just principle on earth. It's like cause and effect. You do this, this can happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think God just places these principles and he tries to teach us the godly principles, because when you do this, right, then this abundance or this blessing is going to come to you. If you do this, then this is going to come to you. And it's like I firmly believe that like if you just take God out of it, when he instilled principles into the earth, they're going to happen regardless, cause and effect. It's just going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the main reason people hesitate towards a lot of the rules, regulations, whatever restrictions that are kind of in the Bible. Because yeah, if I'm out here and I've been raised to and conditioned to, like, dang, I never been on a podcast to be putting people on blast.
Do it, bro. Do what you want to do.
The men in my family, haven't set the best example for how to not be out here hitting every woman in sight. You know what I'm saying? And how to be faithful, right? So for me, I did struggle with that. Like, Lord, come on, like that's all I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, bro.
That's all I know,
right,
bro.
Right.
Like,
yep.
But it was him showing me the abundance and the fruit that comes on the other side of it, and teaching me so many things. Just even like, not to go too preacher.
Say what you want to say, bro.
But like even learning the value of a woman and how we disrespect women as men just trying to get what we want. You know what I'm saying? Or use them for what they have, and or just not loving them in general. You know what I'm saying? And how, like, shoot, at this point in time, like, I firmly believe that the Lord has a wife for me somewhere. I don't know where she at, but I'm gonna be tight. I'd be tight thinking and knowing that she's giving herself up to another man.
That's good.
I'm not even saying like phically. I'm
no,
talking
just
about
emotionally,
I'm talking
mentally.
all the
Yep.
things
Yep.
prior to coming to me. You know what I'm saying? And now that's why I'm so guarded about, or at least try to be guarded with, who I'm around. And
What you entertain.
and what I'm entertaining
Yep.
to. Yeah. It's just principles. There's just principles in the world. Like, and the God who, it's like, this is why I feel like the earth is become now. Like, it's like I created Uno, right? Uno, very simple. You know what I'm saying? Place the same color cards, and you know what I'm saying? This is how you win, right? It's like if I created Uno and I gave it to you guys, you and a group of friends, right? And I dipped it, right? And then I come back a week later and y'all are playing Uno, but
We've added our own
you
rules to
added
it.
your own rules. You've taken out rules. You win, and you have 2 cards left, and not when you have 0. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you didn't win. And so it's like you slap down your last card, and you're like, I won. No, you didn't. You just didn't. That's not. You didn't win at Uno. Not at my game that I created. And I feel like that's. God created Earth. God created this. He created us. He created everything, and He has the way to win at life. Yet we want to create our own rules, create our cheat, whatever, and then we get mad at God at the end of the game when we aren't winning.
Okay, so piggybacking off of that, talking about in the scenario of Uno, or just like whatever is constructed for how to play, something. And Mom, we might have an episode again. Me and you, my sister, we were just talking about this today, but we always bring things back to pride and choice, right? So if you think about a lot of the things, let's take Uno for example. Like he said, I created Uno, and I left it with these people. When I come back, it's not the same game from what I've created, because the rules that I put in place, the whatever I put in place, you guys have now put your pride in. You're like, well, hold on, something about this doesn't feel right towards who I am. So I gotta put myself in it, in this position to make it more pleasing to my flesh, to my nature. So like when I think about God, right, or when we think about God, which he's pretty much I said, is like when you when you put yourself in something that God told you to abide by, you automatically put yourself above Him without even like without even realizing it. So if God was like, "Hey, go open up that laptop," let's say he's in his bed and he knows that he has to edit something. God's like, "Hey, go open your laptop and go edit something." He's like, "God, but it's over there. I don't want to." You automatically put yourself above God because of your pride, because of your disobedience. So I just want to leave with that. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, because honestly, like if you really look at it, that is the first sin.
Come on.
That's us. It's us trying to judge good and evil for ourselves. You know
when we never set that in place.
It was never
Right.
for us to do. God
Correct.
created the Garden of Eden, everything, and said, "This is all good. Don't touch this tree." For Eve and Adam to look at that tree and even contemplate touching it was the sin in of itself. That was the pride that run out. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, it can't be that bad. Well, maybe, no. And that's literally what we do on a day-to-day basis. Just as simple as what you just said is, listen, knowing that you're being led to go and do something and then you don't. Or even, like we were talking about, any of the sin sakes. Like, oh, well, it can't be that bad. Like, it feels good to me. I'm going to just do this.
Correct.
And I think going back even to the first question, like I got tired of doing that for myself, like judging good and evil for myself, or building it up for myself. I got to a point I'm just like, Lord, you can have it. I submit to you.
You got it, bro. Listen, God, you got it, bro.
I've realized that you are the mastermind of this game of life. I haven't been doing it as successful as I know I can.
Correct.
Lord, you take the wheel. And it's literally been that. Like, sometimes I want to take the wheel back, but it's like, nah, okay, Lord.
Hold on, let me repent real quick. Let me get on my knees and pray real quick. Yeah. So it really enough. I didn't even think about that, but it goes into what I have prepared for the fourth question. So I'm going to save question 3 for question 4, and then question 4 is going to be question 3. Follow me, people.
I don't think they would have known that.
I know, but I have to say it for myself out loud. Like, Zion, it's okay. So,
I'm the same way. Gotta go in the order
like you feel what I'm saying? Because I feel like it was flowing, but I was like, oh, this actually goes better with this. Anyways, so coming down off of that, question number 3, almost at 4. Question number 3 is, do you think that it's harder for people to understand belief versus truth? So, thinking about this, just to kind of give you a better way to answer it, or however you want to answer it. When I think about belief, right? Like, let's say, for example, right? Let's take this. Let's say I believe that this book is the color of pink. okay, you guys see the book. The book is clearly red, black, and orange, maybe at the bottom. But I feel like when people put belief in front of truth, it becomes delusion. So it's like, how would you express, or why do you think it's harder for people to understand? Guys, I'm low-key struggling. Hold on. I'm low-key struggling. I was trying to act like I wasn't, but I was low-key struggling. Okay. Why do you think it's harder for people to understand belief versus truth? Obviously because of pride, but like, what would your reasoning be on why they couldn't understand the difference? Because truth is obviously God, and belief is pride.
Whew. You might have to give me a second on that one.
Take your time.
Great question.
I can keep going if you need me to.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, thinking about belief.
That's a good one.
Dang, I'm kind of stumped too. Hold on now. I think like because it fights against our nature, we want to believe that it's truth. And again, everything goes back to pride and choice, right? So it's like, well, God, I believe this, but then God's like, well, this is who I am. I am truth. I am the way of life. So why are you going to get something that you believe? Like, it's delusion. I mean, that's how simple I can put it, is that it's delusion to a point. Go ahead.
I think
That's all I had, people. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Okay.
I can only speak from my experience.
For sure.
Right,
Yeah,
from my
yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
I was blessed and fortunate enough to grow up in a household where the truth was taught.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I knew truth growing up. Whether I followed it, walked in it, or whatever, I knew what the truth was. So I think, one, like, a lot of people don't know the truth. They just don't. And I think when they hear it for the first time, it does one of three things.
It attacks, number one. It attacks attacks this
fleshly, natural body that we have. But Jesus even speaks about it in the parables of the seed that's scattered. Good soil, rocky soil, and like the soil where the birds come and eat it up or whatever. It's either gonna come and root in, or it's not. Like, it's just either one or the other. And I think for me, like I said, I knew truth. So I don't know if I ever had like beliefs outside of truth, because it was just instilled into me as a kid. Like, I'm generally trying to think about some things that I like believed that.
Hold on, I can push back.
Go ahead.
I mean, it would have to be when you told yourself that you have to do it by yourself and get it because of the chip on your shoulder. That's kind of a belief.
That's good.
Because
Good.
it's still putting yourself outside of what God is.
I guess where I'm trying to go is, like, I knew truth. I rejected it. I mean,
I'm with you.
That's basically what I'm trying to say. Is, like, I knew it and I just rejected it.
I'm with you.
Because, I mean, certainly it's not true. It's certainly not true that I have to do this by myself. Never have. And I'm mad at myself for making those years more difficult, because I was trying to do it on my own.
Do you still like you feel, gosh dang, do you still feel like you have those qualities within yourself, or like you have to get stuff done by yourself? Or are you more, I can say, are you more open, because you are, but do you still have like those moments where it's like, well, I have to do it myself now because of X, Y, and Z?
It shows up in different ways now. And when I say I had to do it by myself, like back then, it wasn't that I wouldn't have people around me or be helped by people. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially within my close friend circle, like, I'm gonna welcome that. I think, to answer your question simply, I do still struggle with that, and it is pride, essentially, where it's me realizing that. I think the struggle for me now is realizing that it's literally not me. No longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. So when I'm doing something and I want it to look a certain way,
that's good.
I want it to be perfect. I want it to be,
correct.
You know what I'm saying? Me being a perfectionist or just whatever, that's me getting in the way of God doing his work. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where I struggle with that concept the most,
Yeah.
because I'm so used to relying on myself.
So mine is the same, but just a tad opposite, just a little bit. So I do, in a sense, feel like I have to do things on myself, in regards to content creation or just creation in the media space in general. So I have a lot of friends who are in the streaming world, the media production world, but because of their life is outside of what I believe is community, I'm like, hey, if we just do this together, we can X, Y, and Z. But maybe that's not where. Wow, hold on, I'm about to cry. Maybe that's not where God wants them to be at that moment. Like maybe the idea is like God preparing for what could be, and I think that's my problem. I think God has really shown a lot of what is going to be, like flashes or whatever. But because I'm like, well, God, that feels good now. Like, oh my gosh, if we just get community together, if we just, it'd be examples. If we just, but that's not really what is the focus right now, Zion. I feel like that's what he's telling me. So when I push, and I'm like, hey, if we just meet this many times a month, have this many uploads, have this many, but is that what God asked you to do? Or did he say, be prepared? And that's something that I'm really bad at, is preparation. Don't want to talk about that? Sure. So I'll say like one of the biggest things is like, obviously, like I just said, being prepared. So like when I had asked God for something, I'm not gonna say what the something is, but I asked God for something, like, God, please, like if I can just have this, like everything in life will be fine. It'd be great. God gave it to me, and I was not prepared at all. I had it in my hands, and I was not prepared at all. It actually got worse when it was in my hand. And then looking on the outside of it, I'm like, oh, God, I was not prepared at all. So I look at preparation a lot differently, because preparation isn't just for what's coming. It's preparation for what's doing right now. So God's working within me right now, but am I patient? Am I forgiving? Do I forgive myself? Am I loving? Am I able to learn how to love? Am I able to, those are all in line with preparation. So when I look at like Antonio, his preparation for when he puts out product is amazing. And like, that's why I always say like, hey bro, can you look at this video real quick? You're like, hey man, like you should blah, 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 blah. Things that have worked for me. And I'm like, wow, like his what is that called? His advice is always in remembrance of what his preparation was when he was putting out stuff as far as content, or even now. So now he's at a place where it's like, he's a beyond professional because he was prepared. The things that God are allowing to be present in his life, or allowed to make an income in his life, is all because of preparation. Even in the times where he was, getting to a place where he made the six figures, he was doing all these music videos. Those were still preparation for, well, now we're here now. It may not have been what you were supposed to be doing, but all that stuff leading up to now is the reason why you're able to flourish and what you're able to flourish in. So
That's good.
that's all I have for that.
That's good. I want to give Bible to that, because
Please.
that's really good. Two things. One, like speaking to like the preparation or wherever that I was at before, and I think everybody has their own season of preparation, and I don't think it ever looks like what you think it's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Can you explain a little more? Because I don't know, it didn't bother me, but I'm intrigued. You said that people have their seasons of preparation. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that everything we do is preparation,
Right?
But I think there is seasons. There's seasons in life.
Correct.
There's a season that's going to prepare you for the next season, and then this season can prepare you for the next season. But what I was saying to that specifically was that there's going to be seasons that God will use, even though you aren't realizing that he's using
Got you. Okay.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, like, And the Bible says that that what the enemy meant for evil, God turns for good, right? So when you think about all them times that I was doing what I was doing with Chapo Nico, like, I was not glorifying the Lord, I don't believe, like, in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think God knew my heart even then. And that is just a testament to how good God is, for one, just how he kept me in all that, and then he restored and then took what the enemy thought he had in me and used it for his glory in so much of a way, to where, like, you talk about that as like when I was maybe at my height or whatever, but that for me was season of preparation. Like, that wasn't, I don't look back at that as like height times. It was like, that was preparation. When I look back at it in the moment, I thought, oh yeah, I prepared 5 years ago.
I made it.
This.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
Right.
But I didn't realize that in that season I was being prepared for something to
now,
come,
today.
But also, as far as like being prepared and being ready, somebody preached the heck out of this, the David and Goliath story last year to me at this conference that I was at, and it's stuck with me, and it's changed the way that I mentally go about things. Because, not to dive into it too much, but when I was in my shop at Nico days, everything was me, and God had to humble me, take some of that pride away. But I almost got so complacent and dependent on God that I was no longer steadily being prepared for the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got, like I told you, in 2 months, really like in 3 days, I was a salary position. You know what I'm saying? From when I heard about the job, checked it out, and got the job. That was 2 months after I gave it up for the Lord. And I was like, in that, working at that job, like, it was work, but like, it wasn't working like I used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to spend, in a 24-hour day, I'm spending 18, 19 working. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I haven't experienced that in the last 3 years. I'll be honest with you. Like, I haven't. I've been chilling, And I got so lazy, I feel like, and dependent on God, that I was like waiting on God to do stuff. But this dude preached David and Goliath, and I never noticed this. When David is speaking to Goliath, right, he says, even if you back it up, when he's talking to Saul, he's saying, I've killed a lion, I've killed a bear, and Goliath will be like one of these. So that shows he's done it before. He's been prepared. He's not just being confident in what he thinks the Lord is about to do. He's done this before. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually been through this before. But then when he goes to Goliath, he says that my God will conquer you, and I will cut your head off. I will kill you, is what he's saying. So that's a full dependence and a full confidence in God, but a full dependence and a full confidence in self too. So, but David had to actually be prepared. He actually had to have gone through and done the things. He had to know how to sling that rock. Like, if you ever go back and like watch like them slings that they used to sling, like it was like
it took some skill.
No, like seriously, it wasn't just like busting a 40 and shooting. Like, you had to really, and they would within centimeters be able to hit something 100 yards away. You know what I'm saying? So it's skill. Like, so David was skilled, he was prepared, he was ready for, and then God gave him an opportunity where he was walking in the will of God. So obviously he's not going to fail anyway, but he was prepared to do the work.
Yes, and this isn't as good of a story as that was, but an example of that for myself was when like 2 weeks ago, I got home from work. I'm like, God, like, my house is a mess. This is like right after I did my first 48-hour marathon. I'm like, God, I do not want to clean at all, but if you give me the energy, I will do it. Immediately, God gave me the energy. But the trick to that stuff is, after you pray for it, you have to do it. Like, you have to have the ability to do it. So God's going to give you like the energy. So I felt like this, but I was, now I have to actually use the energy that I prayed for. So going to wash the dishes, going to take out the trash, going to wipe down stuff was all because I prayed for it. But then I actually put the the action to what I'm praying for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that all goes into preparation.
That's good.
So when you do that, you know, pray, but also put the action to it. You have anything else before I go to the last part?
No, I don't feel like we answered that question.
Okay.
Um,
You may ask it again.
no, I think in thinking through this though, I think honestly the only answer is, or at least from in my eyes, is that we just don't know truth. Because
got you.
when you doubled down on me about
Mhm.
saying like my belief in the fact that I had to do it alone, I didn't know the truth in that.
Correct.
You know,
Mhm.
I still didn't know the truth in that. So I think, one, I believe that we can't find God. God finds us. He reveals himself to us. And I think in that timing, on his timing, he softens our hearts. And as long as we receive the truth that's being given, because I think a lot of us, deep down in our hearts, when we see truth, we know it's true. We just try to reject it.
I have a small question before I go into this last question. And I don't know if this will happen. It probably won't, just because of how politics and churches are. But me and my family, my mom, my sister, we wanted to do like a series where we went to different churches, and we were going to title a series like "Where to Find God." And it was interesting that you said that God finds us. So, like in the places that, let's say, you know, we went to these places and we didn't feel God's presence there. Is that because of our point of view on how we view this places when they are serving God? And then when we go to other places, is it like, well, God feels like he's here because the presence here feels nice? But like, what if God was actually there in the place before, but because of your sight toward it, you saw it differently? So it's interesting that you say God finds us.
Yeah, well, the Bible says that he leaves the 99 for the one. So I do think he is pursuing us.
Correct.
I do believe that.
Correct.
I'm very skeptical or cautious to say that God isn't somewhere.
Okay.
Because he says when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's, me, and I would actually love to help you on that endeavor if you do, because I'm connected with a lot of churches in Dayton.
Come on, guys.
But and the reason that I'm connected with a lot of churches in Dayton is for that reason, is because we think that only the black churches got it right, or only the CCM churches got it right, or only the Baptist church got it right, or the non-denominational church, or this or that, or and if it's not that, then it's not God, right? I'm so against that. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, we express ourselves to God in many different ways, many different cultures. We had our Declare Dayton event at Riverscape this year. We had like Islander dances, we had rap, we had CCM, we had gospel, we had drummers, we had dancers. Like, there's not one way for you to worship and
God.
experience
Correct.
God.
So here's my question with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to keep it.
You're good.
So something that I believe, and this is probably the biggest reason on why it's hard to go back to church, is when I look at how churches are today, a lot of them are, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say how I want to, extremely culty.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because it's like, when, let's say I'm a new what is that called? Like, I say it again?
New believer? New Christian?
No, not new believer, new Christian, but like when I go somewhere for the first time, like when I go to a church for the first time.
A guest.
Yes, a new guest. And they're like, oh my gosh, who's a guest here, blah, blah, blah. And they automatically like, hey, become a member, become a this, stay here, be here, learn here. In my mind, I feel like it's, even though there is a way to learn in that environment, when I look at how Jesus and the disciples were teaching, it wasn't just in one confined area. When I think about church is to go to pray, to go to worship, but also I feel like there's better ways to learn community, rather than just say you were born in this church, you're gonna be a servant of the church, because that to me doesn't feel like it's God attached. It is God present, yes, but I don't feel like God is attached to those things because of what they are attached to. So when I think about like Sunday services, or when I think about praise and worship, I feel like it's either time based, or it's very, well, this is what the pastor is feeling. Why am I listening to this when God's telling me to do another thing? So am I wrong for going against the head of the church for listening to what God is telling me? So like that's my biggest battle with like how I view church. So because like you're in it, how would you view that?
Well, for one, let's just lay out a couple.
Yeah, let's break it down.
Verses here.
Yes,
The
sir.
Bible talks about how we shouldn't forsake the assembly of the saints, right? So that's congregation, right? That's coming together in a place, and he says on a weekly basis. That's something that they do.
Was that? Do you have the context for that?
For the actual verse?
Mm-hmm.
We can find it. Yeah, I'd love to.
I just want to learn, people.
Yeah, for sure. Hebrews 10:25, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. So basically, he's just saying to congregate and to be in community, which you are big on. That's not specifically talking about church, but Ephesians 4:11 and 12 says, and he gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the shepherds, and teachers to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ, until we all attain the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God, to mature manhood, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. So why did I bring that up? We need to be in community, and there are people that are given gifts, given authority, given specific duties for a specific purpose.
To teach. Correct.
To equip, to
manage, however you see fit. Correct.
Say. So bringing it to the church, right? Because I agree with you. There's a lot in churches that I don't like. There's a lot in churches that I don't feel like is spirit led. I told you earlier, I'm cautious to say that God's not at church, but it's sad to say that there's some churches that I've experienced that I don't believe that from staff, from leadership, from top down is being led by the Lord. Now,
okay.
I do believe that in God's sovereignty and his grace and his mercy and his goodness, that regardless of faulty leadership, when we go to a church to go and experience God, he's going to show up for us. You know what I'm saying? Now going into like the specifics of like, because having a shepherd's call over my life, having been in the back rooms of staff meetings at churches and the coordinating of things, it does get businessy. It does get
capitalistic.
It
systematic.
It does because there's bills to pay. There's things to do, and we're human, so we get in the way of God a lot of times. And I think we all do that in every way, shape, or form. This is a really hard question that you asked, by the way. To just answer it simply, when Paul is writing in the original church, right? Because we have from the original church and how it was originally. Like when Paul wrote to the church of Corinth, he's writing to the body of Christ in Corinth. He's not writing to
the building.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? And I think right then and there, modern day Christianity has gotten so caught up in the building and the program, and
what it represents, what we can push, what we can,
all the things.
Yep.
And I don't think that's biblical, but I understand how we get there. I'm not saying it's right, but I can see the trip falls, and hopefully I think God has let me see those to avoid them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fall in those same pits. But like the membership thing that you're specifically asking about, as somebody who shepherds pours into, has disciples or whatever you want to call. I don't have my own church building, but everybody says I have my own church. You know, I don't like being called that, pastor or whatever. But with my people, right, that I've been pouring into for a little over a year now consistently, I employ them to go and experience other churches and other things and all that. But I'm also very careful about where they go, because I understand that they can be influenced by certain things and not have the full revelation.
Right, and it also comes back to the reflection as well. So if I'm, like you said, if I'm employing you to go here, you're also an extension of me. So if I'm pouring into Antonio, I'm like, hey, this looks good, you know, go try this place. What I've poured into him is still a reflection of who I am. So if I'm going into that place acting, or if he's going to a place and he's acting a certain way, like that's still a reflection of me. So like going back to like, you know, what he's saying, a lot of it when it does come to community, it's how we are extensions of each other. But that's where I feel the building of a church is so different, because if we take, I don't know what churches you go to, but people in Springfield, if we take Greater Grace Temple and we take First Christian Church and we ask them to collide, it's going to be a mess. Mm-hmm. Because from like he said, from black churches, but we are very performative. And then white churches are very, God, you're the greatest, you're the best, let's just soak, and then today at 5 p.m.
Caution to say performative.
That is performative.
Is it?
100%.
What's performative? Just because we're louder or more charismatic in certain
I'm saying everyone's performative, like not just specifically the black church.
Oh, okay. I thought you said black churches are performative, white churches are
I first of all, I did say that, but I'm meaning like everyone is performative in their own way. So that's why I'm saying that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to say that real quick. Go ahead.
Good. I was asking you, performative.
Oh, yeah, so as far as performative, like the reason why I believe it's performative is because I don't think it comes from a real place. I think it comes from, I'm on stage, I have a mic, this is my opportunity to impress, to dress, to all that stuff. Because like, and one of the saddest things I've noticed when I was a kid, because and this is not to attack Antonio either, but like one of the saddest things to see as a kid was when, like, after musicians and after media people got done, like they were handed a paycheck, and I'm like, well, if you're actually doing this in the will of God, why does this matter in this place? Because I feel like you're only doing it for the sake of this. But then people will come back to me and say, well, how else am I going to pay the bills? I understand that. And something that I have been very blessed with is the gift of music. So when it comes to producing, writing, all this other stuff, no way, shape, or form, and you can ask anyone who have ever talked about music, no way, shape, or form would I ever, if I am in the position where I am known as a producer or whatever, I would never take a dime for what I feel God has provided me the gift to glorify Him. But that's just my
You'll never
belief
take a dime from a church, is what you're saying?
From anybody. So like,
explain that, because if you get gifted to be the producer, that's what you said. Yeah, the known producer.
Mm-hmm. You
don't want to get paid to be a producer.
Never.
So what would you get paid to do?
I mean, like anything outside of music, but that's just me having the relationship with music to Him. So like stuff like this, I feel like it's easier to not feel. I don't know. Maybe it's like a guilt factor. Like maybe I feel guilty because I'm talented in that aspect, where it's like, God, I wanted to glorify You, so I don't want to receive compensation for that. And then like when it's like stuff like this, I'm like, well, I would like it. I don't know. But that's just how I feel about it. Because I know what you're about to bring up. I know exactly what to bring up, because the
verse about.
Yep. There's two of them that I always go back to, but the context is different with those Bible verses. But go ahead.
What do you mean the context are different?
So what's the first?
With the media people and the worship people at the church?
No, just by the Bible verse. Like the context of
I
the
didn't
verse.
find it.
Oh, okay. You let me know. Going back to what I was talking about, so you can find it. But yeah, like when it comes to music, like let's say Lee Cray or Kendrick Lamar or anyone's like, "Hey man, I'll pay you X amount of money for this beat." I will always say no, always, because it goes against what the nature of how I feel about God and the gift of music that He's given me. That's just me specifically, though.
Why though? I'm genuinely curious to why.
Why I won't receive compensation for that?
Yeah. So like, how will you make if you were to make money? I mean, if you were to be producer, like that's what you at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
How would you be getting paid? Are you saying you just take the stream income?
Nothing.
I'm confused by
nothing
that.
according to that.
Why?
Here's a question back to you.
I'm
though.
sorry. I'm sorry. This isn't my podcast to be asking you questions. So I'm asking you questions now.
No. So my question back to you is that, do you feel you have a right to be compensated based off of the gift that He gave you?
Do I have a right? Yes.
Where did the word right come from though?
Like the English dictionary.
Okay, the English dictionary. So when we think, and this isn't to like expose.
No,
like that,
please do.
But like when we think about the word right, man made right. I have the right to bear arm. I have the right to say this. I have the right to say that. But where in that where's the context towards the God? We don't have the right to do anything. Right equals power. We don't have power. We have will, but we don't have power though. So right and like we're not. Go ahead.
In the same way, the Lord commanded that those who proclaim the gospel should get their living by the gospel.
But look in the context though. That doesn't attain to everything.
It attains to those who proclaim the gospel.
What was going on in that time though for that to be said?
The spreading of the gospel. What do you ask me specifically? What are you saying?
What you're reading right now?
This is the Paul writing to Corinth.
Okay, so what was going on in the time for that to be said to Corinth though? Because if context matters, like just
explain it.
How do I explain that? Like he got me right there.
I'm just confused on what you're asking because in the context, this is a couple years after Christ died, 10 years after Christ died. This is the expansion of the gospel.
Okay.
Paul is going and preaching the gospel. The reason.
What was going on in the city though, or in that time in that
in
period?
the city?
Yeah.
You're saying?
To where he was like, by this time, do this.
By this time, do this.
Like what was going on for him to say this is what you should do based off of what I'm writing to you?
I'm pretty sure people were giving him like too much credit.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about? Like
sure.
That aspect?
Whatever aspect you feel like that context comes from, yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what context you're looking for because he's talking to people. I mean, we can read this whole chapter. This is my defense because this isn't man-made. You just said right. That's what that threw. This is my defense to those who would examine me. So people are examining Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Do we not have the right to eat and drink? Do we not have the right to take along a believing wife? So we have rights. And then later down, he says, in the same way, the Lord commanded that those who proclaim the gospel should get their living by the gospel. But I have made no use of any of these rights. Nor am I, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
Nor am I writing these things to secure any such provision. For I would rather die than have anyone deprive me of my ground for boasting. For if I preach the gospel, that gives me no ground for boasting, but for the necessity is laid upon me. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel.
Right.
So what is he?
So anything, and maybe I'm perceiving it wrong. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But anything before that is basically saying, he's talking about from the mind of what the people would think. So do I have the right to do this? Do I have the right to do that? And he's saying my devotion to God, my desire to God is above those things that you're naming. Am I interpreting that wrong? Am I interpreting that wrong?
Ask me one more time.
Okay. So everything that you named, where he was like, do I have the right to do this? Do I have the right to do that? And then, as doing the gospel, these are things that should be rewarded. And then he said right after, but, and again, maybe this is my interpretation. Mm-hmm. These things don't matter because my desire, my devotion to God should matter way more than the things that are here, or the things that I can see, or the things that I can get based off of what I'm doing. Am I interpreting that wrong?
Yeah, I mean, he's saying it's his reward is to preach the gospel.
Right, outside of everything else. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Okay, so we're on the same page right there.
Yeah, like that's what he's saying for himself. He wants to have he literally, I don't know if he says it in this chapter, but he literally says somewhere that he only wants to be able to boast in the Lord.
Okay.
And that.
So could you also see my position in that as far as the gift that he gave me? So if God gave him the gift of.
I'm not.
I know it's conversation. No, it's conversation.
I'm not saying that I'm genuinely asking for your why.
Correct.
And this is your why.
That would have to be my why. Because I relate to music a lot differently than people do. Like, it's not just a sound going to the ear. It has to feel good. It has to receive good. I have to see it make a color. I have to see it. And do I think that those aspects are things that I want to get paid for or compensated for? Never. Because for what? It's out there. It's something that I can... Like, man, I resonate with that. Man, I related to that.
But I don't agree with that. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that my gift or my reward is to preach the gospel. And the reason I don't want to take anything from them is because I don't want to hinder anybody from hearing the gospel. I want the gospel to go forth.
That's kind of what I'm saying, though. What's the difference?
You're saying because I make good music and I want people to feel the music or feel this.
So you're saying I'm putting myself in it?
I'm questioning you, no, because I didn't hear God in that.
100%. Yeah. No, so I think I'm attaching it towards the gift, and then I say I a lot. So when I'm saying like God gave me the gift, I'm like, God gave me the gift to play. God gave me the gift to hear certain things, and as I'm playing them, I would rather those things glorify Him rather than me putting it out and be like, here. Because this doesn't glorify what he's already given me. So why am I asking for this if this should already be enough?
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. I don't think that it's wrong for you to do that, though.
You're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
This is one of them questions I would have loved to come in knowing we would talk.
I mean, but I didn't know. It just happened to go there. Yeah.
I'm just trying not to make this a 3-hour podcast.
No, part 2 coming soon. No, for real though.
Because that is, I guess, just to kind of button up my thoughts on that.
Go ahead.
Just in general, just the church. Like, we need a place to congregate, right? I don't believe in, I'm gonna just make my own community. I'm gonna have my own community. I think you should have your own community. But I also think that you should be in community with the church at large. Now, for you, that church might be First Baptist right up the street. You know what I'm saying? I work with an organization called Declare. Our whole mission is to unite churches to worship and congregate together, fellowship together. That's our whole thing, right?
Okay.
Because we want to get it out just one church, one building. But we don't have a building big enough for everybody to come and to worship together in general.
Okay.
So there needs to be local churches. That's I feel.
So my only pushback,
okay.
My pushback on that is, and I'm not saying that this is how you guys are thinking, but from my perspective, forgive me, but from my perspective, when I look at it, it's like we do have this, we have this belief that this is the way it can be. This is the way it could be. But why does this one area have to be an example for what is? So you're saying come here, learn here, be who you are, even if you are from Baptist, whatever. This place right here is the center of all that. But if there's, for example, people driving by who are not necessarily, we can say afraid to come in, who are afraid to voice, who are afraid to blah, 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 blah. We still have to have a way to get to those people.
1,000%.
But why is this one area that waited for those people to come here? Because if everyone came to one specific place, how is that reaching other people?
The purpose to come to church is to fellowship and to be equipped.
I'm with you.
We got 6 other days, 7 days that we're out in our own lives to go and reach people as the church. And that's where really the mindset is mixed up, is the feeling like, oh no, I'm going to church. No, you are the church.
Correct. I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, it's not that one place is the place that is right compared to any other church or whatever, or even, I'm assuming you're saying like the person has to come in order to, to experience God or whatever you're saying. That's where the mindset is coming from. I'm
just saying like that ideology. So even if they don't have to come inside, right? Like let's say that one person or those people don't come inside the church. You're still saying, well, we can still meet up outside of this place that we're already at, so you can also receive the gospel. Correct?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, even if it is okay, we're not going on that one day outside of the other 6 days, it's still attached to what that principle from what the building is pushing. So if I'm only learning from this area, regardless of the fact we have other 6 days, how am I learning more if it's only around this area?
Well, hopefully churches are teaching what the Bible is. Churches are supposed to be embassies of heaven.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Embassies. So if I go to this embassy, it shouldn't be any different than this embassy.
And that's what I'm saying. It is, though.
It is.
Okay. We're following. Okay.
So I'm not saying this one is over that one.
I know you're not comparing. I know that.
But I think you should be in.
In what?
Church. Community. I think that, just being super real.
Be transparent.
You take you can take the building away, you can take everything else away. Being in community with elders, mentors, people you can walk life with and pour into, serve, having all of that is crucial for the walk with Christ.
I 100% agree.
And I think that it's hard to find community outside of church. I'm not even the biggest advocate for Christian community outside of church. But then I would question to you then, where are you learning from if you're not in church? There's bells, there's whistles, there's performance, there's people, there's flaws in every church that you'll go into. Right? We're going to fall short. Now, there's certain things that we can't fall short from as a church. Like, there's just non-negotiables, right? But we're human, you know what I'm saying? And we go in week and week out. And if the pastor feels like the Lord is telling him to do this, then that's what they're doing that Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I would really question where you're learning from.
Yeah. So, and then I'm going to answer this, and then we're going to go to the last one because I don't want this to be too long. This might be pushing too right now, but that's why I asked the question: belief versus truth. Because if there are different areas, different churches, different communities that are saying different things, even if it is under one Bible, there's still interpretations. Literally, we just proved it. He was saying, this is what I'm taking from it. And I'm like, well, this is what I'm taking from it. And I'm not saying that he is wrong for what he's thinking, but I'm saying.
I think we came to a common ground, though.
Did we?
About what Paul was saying? I think we did.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it back. But yeah. So like when I think about that, I think that's why I talk about belief versus truth, because even if they're saying word for word what the Bible is saying, it still could be interpreted as something else, which could still be belief. Like, I believe that that the Bible is saying this, even though the words are true on the paper. So that's why I asked that. Are you ready to go into the last question?
Wait, answer. Where are you learning from?
Oh yeah, so I can't say that I'm learning from a someone, but and I'm not saying that I am reading as well, but I'll say for right now, the main person that I ask questions is my mom. She does a wonderful job of explaining, especially to show me how like a lot of things that go on in today's world were also happening back then. So when we think about same sexuality or interest in same sex or the thoughts of prepare your heart people, I'll say graping and sex offenders and stealing, idolizing, all those things were still happening and the times where God was present. So now what we have where God is still present, but we have a lot more distractions. It's hard to look at, well, what's really this, which is why I asked him like belief versus truth. So I would say I'm going to my mom at the moment because she does the best like side by side when she's teaching me. That's where I'm going right now.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's awesome. And I would encourage you to find more community.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
More community.
I'm not disagreeing with that. As we go into the last question, people, we're just gonna go right into it. Question number, not 3, question number 4. Okay. When trying to have grace with yourself more and more every day about just who you are as a person, what you've become, who you were, what is something that you're trying to prove to yourself more every day? Would you like an example to kind of help?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So something for myself that I'm proving to myself more every day is I have the actual capability to ... When I look at myself and like what I'm doing, I have a lot of self-doubt. And I'm not saying that this is going to relate to him, but just to give an example, I have a lot of self-doubt into what I do because I'm like, you guys see that like I really struggle with confidence and appearance because of how I feel internally about myself. But I literally, the last episode, I was like, Zion, you actually are handsome when you try, and even outside of that, when you don't try, and like believing in who I am and who God made me to be. I have the ability to do these things. I have the capability of walking into a room and talking to 500,000 people and not knowing anything that they're talking about. But because I'm a people person, I can be in those rooms, and not a lot of people have the ability to do that. So I'll say that I'm proving to myself more that I'm capable to ... So what do you feel like you're in that area? Like, what do you feel like you're trying to prove to yourself more?
I would probably I'm trying not to answer this question and it sound corny or just like
just say it. Just say what's on your heart, bro.
But I mean, the only thing that I've been trying to prove, I don't even like the way that's worded for me.
Yeah.
Because I tried to prove so much to myself.
Correct, yeah.
That I'm like at a point where I'm like intentionally trying not to like prove anything. I just want to be. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I just genuinely want to be and just dwell in God's presence and let him lead me and be obedient.
Simple.
It's like
Simple.
Literally where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But if I can give you some encouragement to what you just said, if you would allow me to, because when you know you're a good-looking brother, well, you might not know that, but you was a good-looking brother.
I'm learning to get there. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning to get there.
But most importantly, when God created heaven and earth,
I know what you're about to say. Sorry.
When he created Adam and Eve, when he created the garden, he sat back at the end of it, and he called it good, right?
Yeah, that was coming. Mm-hmm.
But what is the definition for good? Do you know?
I don't know.
I want you to read it for yourself.
Uh-oh.
This is what tore me up.
I'm not ready, people. It's already been an emotional day. Sidebar. I'm going to say the sidebar
read
real
both
quick.
Of the definitions.
Okay. That first one messed me up. That first one almost got me. Hold on. Give me a second. Sidebar. One show I've been watching a lot recently is Bernie Mac, and it's like it is one of the best shows of all time. But like, if you guys really look at the life lessons in that show, it's like,
Shout out to my sister Malay, man. We used to binge watch that
hey,
growing
I'm
up,
binge watching
man.
right now, and I just be crying just to cry. Like, he did that, so I don't know. But oh yeah, my fault. Okay, so he wants me to read both definitions of what the word good means. This is from the dictionary of Oxford Languages. So the first one, like both of these,
Number,
like
1 and 2.
just 1 and 2 up top.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about the adjective good. Number 1 says to be desired or approved of, and then it has a good quality of life. Sorry, this has been a long 2 episodes. These last 2 episodes, I'm getting emotional. Number 2 is having the qualities required for a particular role. The example for that is the schools here are good.
And essentially, what is that saying is that when you were created, first, you were highly desired by the Lord. And 2, he created you with the qualities for the purpose that he has given you. So, take that. Sit with that. Honestly, sit with that. Because that's something that I had a little bit of a complex or whatever a couple months ago, where I'm like, because again, I'm stepping into the season of my life where I'm like, I'm walking in more rooms now where people don't even know that I'm a cameraman. You know what I'm saying? I'm stepping into this ministry. Some people want to call me pastor, just evangelist or whatever you want to. I don't know. I don't care for titles, but point being is like this imposter syndrome of like, but who am I to be speaking and people listen? Who am I to be somebody who people are coming to when they need something? Who am I to be walking in these rooms and who am I? And I've just been in this place where it's like, Lord, are you sure I'm doing this right? I should probably just go back and pick up this camera and go do what I'm comfortable with. But that's what he gave me. You have the qualities for what I have told you to do. So just make sure you're doing what I told you to do. So.
And I'm not going to add to anything with that. I think that's a great send off. That was the last question I had for Mr. Antonio. This is the segment where, first of all, I want to act like I'm ignoring you. I received that. Let me say that out loud. I received that. That was hard to say, but I received that. But this is the segment where we allow the interviewee to ask the interviewer a couple questions or a question. So do you have one in mind?
Yeah, I do.
I was not expecting him to have one so fast.
I didn't. It was you asked me to come with 2 questions.
Okay.
I could only think of one, and I didn't even put it into a full question.
That's all right.
Let's
Let's hear it.
But as you know, a friend of yours, being somebody that I've watched for the last however many years, and even had conversations with, vulnerable conversations about kind of where you're at, where you want to go, the help that's needed or whatever, the ups and downs, the consistency, inconsistency, life happening, all the things. One, I just want to say genuinely that like you have been such an encouragement to me to never give up, that you have inspired me greatly to just do the best at what you got. And I think that you have done absolutely amazing with what you have. And I'm sure a lot of other people can look at you and say the same. I think there's also probably a lot of people who look at you and hate and but are really just envious that you were willing to take the step and keep showing up and putting yourself out there. So as I have been trying to get more, me being in front of the camera, me being content, me being kind of the face instead of just being behind the camera. I just want to ask, like, what are some advice you could give me, or just some experiences that you could say to just do what I got, and to be vulnerable, put myself out there, be consistent as you have over the last few years.
I received that. I have to keep saying that out loud because I'm not good at receiving anything. So Antonio, thank you.
And that's like, I'm not saying that just for the camera.
No, I that's why I felt it from a real place. That's why I got emotional. I was like, no, I cannot cry 2 episodes in a row. But to answer your question about basically how to share your story a lot more. So one thing, is that what you're basically saying, or am I missing your question? I'm
just
sorry.
getting out there. Like, okay, so for me, like, when I grind or I'm in that mode, like, there's return on investment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm either getting paid or I'm getting an opportunity, or this, that, and third.
What you're saying?
When I go to start posting content, it's not that immediate return.
Okay.
I don't see the growth sometimes. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this
because it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
not instant from what you're getting from already.
You know, or sometimes I don't even see the trajectory. I got all these ideas. I don't know if I should do this, if I should do that, if I should do this. So I'd be stagnant. You know what I'm saying?
So I'll say the biggest thing for me is I'm very personable. So when it comes to stuff like this, like the podcast, like it's to take real life things that I'm actively going through, and trying to put it into a place where people can understand, like, this is reality. Me and Antonio, we don't talk every day, and this is not to like, hey, talk to me more, nigga. But this is like we don't talk to each other every day, but we have a respect where it's like, if we ever wanted to go do something together, we will take the time, like today, and go do those things together. But I say, like, the biggest example that I have was I had a conversation with my dad. And he was like, son, I actually admire what you're doing because from the place that he was at, as far as like era, they're not taught to be vulnerable, especially putting your business out there in the world. The reason why Zion does not care is because these are things that happen in real life. So when it comes to, sorry, Lord, but you know what I'm about to say anyways. But when it comes to like my virginity stories, or when it comes to like me asking vulnerable questions, when it comes to me like, hey guys, I'm depressed, or I feel ugly, or I feel fat, or blah, 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 blah. These are active feelings that I'm going through in real time. And even though you guys may see it as somewhat as entertainment, it's also attached to who I am and my insecurity of myself, like my internal. So the reason why, even if I don't see ROI or return on investment, I don't really care for that, because as long as it touched that one person who's like, I see what you're doing, that's all I really care for. And I'm not even really looking for that. It's just to really put it out there so people can understand you're not alone in this. And because I felt alone in a lot of places, even when I had support, I still feel alone, which we can go into that in like another conversation. But even when I had the people around me, I still felt alone, because it's like, what is it in myself that I'm telling myself where it's like, I can't, I shouldn't, why would I'm X, Y, and Z. So I do it for the sake of people receiving more than me wanting or, taking that in.
That's good.
That's what it.
That's a good answer.
That's it though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for watching yet another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. As we're doing more of these, I would still like to end things with a prayer. Just because I want to know that everything is, not everything is good with me and this person, but that he's covered, or whoever I'm talking to is covered outside this conversation. You ready? Okay. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything you have given us. Thank you for being omnipotent. Love saying that word. You're the best. Thank you for creating. Thank you for being. But I also want to thank you for my friend, Antonio, for not only giving the words, but for giving encouragement, for giving light to sorry God, for giving light to who I am and who you made me to be. But also thank you, God, for allowing him to see the process and being prepared to for him to be the person who he is today, based off of who you want him to be, Lord. And thank you for just being so gracious. Thank you for being so understanding. Thank you for being here, because without you, we are nothing, Lord. And I want to continue to cover my good friend Antonio when he's out there in the world serving you, and the same thing with me. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And with that being said, it is NOIZ.I and
Antonio.
we are out.